What we have right now. So this month we have a lot of different dynamics popping off, really giving rise to a lot of change. And so the thing right now is Saturn has just gone retrograde, and Mercury will be going retrograde tomorrow, I believe. So what I thought this was really important because as I'm thinking about Mercury and Saturn more so than anything else. And so what this basically ends up entailing is you have Mercury and Saturn retrograde. So basically, in a general way, your mind is kind of more serious things are coming to your attention. And with them both being retrograde, they're both reviewing points in the timeline. And so basically your mind is more focused on serious things. The reason why Saturn's going retrograde, it goes retrograde every year, is that it's time to start reviewing responsibilities, what we're dedicated to, what we're not dedicated to, where we're willing to acknowledge our limitation and where we're not. So I just think it's very important to understand that I'm trying to find the right words. I think it's just really important to understand how to navigate that, because the relationship between Mercury and Saturn at this point is Mercury's in Taurus and Saturn's in Sagittarius, so there's not so much of the best relationship between Mercury and Saturn at this point, where there's a tension. There's a tension in letting the limitations get to you. There's a tension in letting all the depression get to you. There's a tension in implementing your that's funny. There's a tension in applying your discipline. So there's not the biggest, and I apologize, I'm going a little bit slower than I usually do, but that's just how it is right now. Yeah. So essentially, what's going to be happening is Mercury being in Taurus and Saturn being in Sagittarius. Basically, you might start feeling that, in your day-to-day, you'll feel like you're handling things, but overall, Saturn is long-term, Sagittarius is big picture. You feel like the big picture may be too much for you. You may be more aware of your daily surroundings and making money and, being comfortable, and you may be more concerned with those things. But Saturn is always knocking on your door, showing you, teaching you that there is a bigger picture and that you have to apply your discipline to it. Now, with this dynamic, what we have is this fear, this intense fear of stepping outside of your day-to-day and reapplying your discipline. Saturn in retrograde also reminds us of to get back on track, as is Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is the resting period for a few weeks for you to get back on track with your day-to-day duties, your day-to-day conversations, your day-to-day whatever, your job. Like Mercury rules things you do every day. And Saturn, it rules things that you do every day as a discipline. And thus, what's essentially happening is, since Mercury's going retrograde from Taurus into Aries, you're going to start making that shift, that transition between the tension and the difficulty in applying your new discipline, or honoring what the disciplines and completing your discipline, completing your spiritual practice, or whatever practice you have. and then it's going to shift to a more harmonious one. You'll start getting the hang of it. You'll start getting the feel of it. You'll start seeing how staying focused on the big picture plugs directly into your sense of well-being, and it fills you with confidence. And that's basically Mercury being trine Saturn. So with Mercury semi-square Saturn, it's just this very tense, like there's a sense of similar like pleasures, and not really getting affected by by the small stuff, just focused on what you're focused on. But Taurus is a lot more simple than Sagittarius, and a lot more committed, and a lot more stubborn. And Sagittarius is kind of easy come, easy go, and basically it's about because in your day-to-day you may start getting into a little you might start carving out a little daily niche for yourself, or rather a little daily ditch for yourself if you get too comfortable, because Saturn's saying apply your discipline, work toward the next thing, work toward the higher, work toward the better, but take it easy on yourself. Work toward the better, but take it easy on yourself. And Mercury's like, I am taking it easy, and Saturn's like, but your kind of easy isn't completely plugged into the long term. It's more about today. It's more about Monday through Friday, Sunday through Saturday, and it's not about it's not about 2025. That's Saturn, and so this is probably one of the more important things that jumped out at me, the combination of Mercury and Saturn. So if we go over the particular dynamics during this month, through the month of April, we have Venus, which switched into Pisces last Sunday. And so instead of, Venus being in Aries, where it's like, are my friends as hot as me? Are my friends representing my strength? Are my friends representing how awesome I am? Are my friends doing things to better themselves the way I'm doing things to better myself? Are my friends doing things that they love in the same vein that I'm doing things that I love? Are they constantly achieving, constantly moving forward, constantly, not expanding, that's Jupiter, or Sagittarius, but are they constantly just moving forward? Are they doing it, and are they doing it on the same level as me? That's Venus in Aries. But Venus in Pisces says, my friends are my friends are my friends. My friends are those that I feel comfortable with. My friends are those that I can, let into my world because I don't mind us mixing energies. My friends are those that are very compassionate people and that just accept me as I am, no matter what I'm doing or where I'm at. So you have these very different dynamics going on, and when Venus going backward, we're being reminded of that, except last time when Venus was direct in Pisces, we were dealing with the stellium of Pisces, and so it really the dynamic was, it was very, very easy to get lost in this Neptunian world, and we were just kind of swimming at the beginning of the year, and now there's more Aries, there's more Taurus. Mars is going to go into Gemini more toward the end of the month, April 21st, and so we're getting grounded now. Like the beginning of the year was just pure heaven, pure higher realms, pure swimming in the sauce, and then it became Aries, and it's like, okay, now put your realization into action, and now there's more Taurus and Gemini coming up. So the full moon is is on the 11th, which is in a few days. But I wanted to also remark upon another dynamic between Mercury and Saturn. So Saturn went retrograde on the 6th, and Mercury's going retrograde tomorrow, which is the 9th. Now, I'm just looking at the numerology now, and so now we have basically the yin and yang symbol, or the symbol of Cancer, symbol of the moon, symbol of duality and unity and duality. And so basically Mercury and Saturn are going to be playing the role of like yin and yang right now. They're going to be playing a yin and yang role, and you have to constantly keep that balance. And it's not just balance, it's a flow. Balance is more of a static thing. and flow is more of balance and motion, if you would say. You could say, excuse me. And so with that kind of representing the flow, the moon, you could even say there might even be kind of a watery quality between Mercury and Saturn, meaning flowing into Mercury, flowing into Saturn, even though they're not in water signs because of the numerology and the symbology. It kind of makes them work like that. And so there's kind of this moon, kind of really hidden moon aspect. And so with that, the full moon's going into Libra, which is, the seeds that were planted in Aries are now fully grown in Libra, and you can actually continue the expansion during this full moon as well of your intentions and your desires. And so basically I would say, since Saturn and Mercury have this kind of really, really hidden lunar energy, and that the full moon is going into Libra, we would say that the goal of these is to strengthen the power of your relationships. And so no matter what it is that you actually desire, what you're desiring is basically going to enhance your relationships in every way, shape, or form. Whether you're a relationship master or where you have a lot to be desired, the Mercury, Saturn, full moon energies are kind of coming together in this really interesting way to bring you more into the flow, not what the ego plans out to have as a relationship, but in the living flow of who you are, and in the living flow of what you share with others and what they share with you. And so, and then with the Pisces kind of coming back with Venus coming back into Pisces, is pretty much just accept everything. Just accept everything, not conform to everything, but accept everything. And I've been learning what that means. Accepting everything means you're still you still have the core, your solar plexus is still strong, but you're able to let all the conditions around you change, and it without resisting it. And I'm starting to see personally how having a strong core, and then letting life just happen however it happens is extremely important, because there are those that let life happen but they don't have strong core, so life conforms them instead of life moving around them, or life adapting to them, or them adapting to life. They allow life to let them conform, or people try to control life. So further on, we actually have Venus, staying in the vein of Venus. Venus actually goes direct the 15th. So a few days after the full moon, Venus goes direct. So there's this kind of moon, Venus. The moon energy is not forward energy because of the dynamic between the retrogrades of Mercury and Saturn, but we have this kind of forward moving, or we have this moon and Venus energy, basically. This flow, this balance, this flow, and then this kind of static balance at the same time with Venus. But Venus goes direct on the 15th, and the 15th is 1 + 5 = 6. 6 is from the discipline that I understand in numerology. 6 is ruled by the planet of Venus. So we have April, which is an Aries Taurus month, and then we have it going direct on a day that's ruled by Venus numerologically. And so there's this moon Venus thing going forward, and with Venus going direct, now we're going to start learning how to apply that Piscean energy in a more grounded context. Remember I said before, when Venus was direct in Pisces several weeks ago, it was in the stellium of Pisces. So it was trying to apply this energy when there was so much cosmic energy just coming in and making everything very fluid. Now everything's cooled down, things are becoming more physical, meaning higher realities, higher intentions are becoming more physical. And now you're learning, basically, with Venus going direct, how to apply that higher ideal of relationship, or that higher unity, into the world of matter. So then we have Mars is sextile Chiron, so now Mars is starting to, the energy that you're starting to, your motivation, your passion, your desire is being activated to start going within and start actively healing yourself. Start like chopping down, destroying any kind of thing that is hindering you. Any kind of insecurity, any kind of shortcoming, the Mars is now activated to actively deal with that. And it's not an easy process, but it is a supported process. Then the Sun going into Taurus. So the Mars and Sun in Taurus, they're not really completely on the same page, but there's still this Sun, Mars, and Taurus. Now the Sun is kind of slightly plugged into the Chiron energy. It's not sextile Chiron, but it's lightly plugged into this Chiron energy. The Sun actually goes into Taurus 3 days after Mars creates the relationship with Chiron. So it's like Mars with Chiron is the 16th of April, and Sun moves into Taurus on the 19th. So if we want to continue, I just kind of, when I do the readings, I just kind of go with whatever I'm feeling intuitively guided to talk about. So I'm not going to talk about the numerology there because I don't intuitively feel that that's important. Then the Mercury finally goes far enough back in its retrograde cycle to go back into Aries, and now we're starting to think again, what is it that really makes me feel good? What are my desires? What is it that I really want to do today? What is it that I really want to do to plug into the higher reality of my goals? What do I want 5 years, 10 years down the road? And it's really a powerful thing. So, and then Mars goes into Gemini the 21st. The new moon is in Taurus, so you get the new moon in Taurus and the Sun in Taurus on the 26th. So the energy is becoming more and more grounded. But Mars goes into Gemini, so now it's just about, now you just want to kind of get out there. Once you do that healing with Chiron, you want to get out there and you want to express yourself now. Now that you've done that healing, or now that you're in the midst of doing that healing, now you want to get out there and, deal with it. And Mars will square Chiron, but it's not this month. And so, Venus goes direct in Aries on 28th, and then Chiron squares Saturn on the 30th. And so this month will be ending with kind of on a really weird note, that our healing process, though it was supported by Mars, we're at a kind of an impasse with Saturn, and that means that this could mean that whatever healing that needs to get done, you may be distorted in the way that you're seeing how to do the healing. You may be distorted in, maybe you might be, again, getting a little bit too hard on yourself and saying, oh, this is this and that and this and that and this and that. I'm not open enough. I'm not receiving enough. I'm not, compassionate enough, or I need to work on this, or I need to constantly be, and that's something that you just need to be mindful of. Or you could be thinking that your healing's supposed to go this way and it's really supposed to go that way. So it's really about being silent and being still and allowing the universe to kind of show you how it wants to bring healing to your life. And the universe is you. So how the deeper you wants to bring what you understand to be you, bring that being healing. All right, and I believe there's a Venus. Right now, Venus is conjunct Chiron. So today Venus is conjunct Chiron, and so now a lot of almost effortless healing is being done. Seeing the big picture as far as your relationships with other people, seeing the deepest part of it, seeing the wound, seeing that deep down, everyone just wants to be loved, love and be loved, and getting to that, seeing the issue at that level, and seeing how everything is forgivable, and seeing the truth that whoever it is that, especially yourself, that you already love yourself. You just think you don't. You already love yourself. And to me, Venus in Chiron is, Pisces is about that self love that comes from understanding that you are everything. Leo is the self love. There's still separation involved. There's still the idea of separation. I love myself, but Pisces is I am everything. If I'm everything, well then I love everything. And so that there's that, and then the Venus coming in, which is a certain form of love. It's almost like loving yourself in a romantic way, It's like it's like you could even say, like, and that's today, that's current, that's April 8th. The numerology's coming up. The 8 is ruled by Saturn in the discipline of numerology that I know. And so we have basically Venus and Chiron, the discipline of Saturn, being applied to this day, basically this particular day and this particular dynamic, this aspect. And it's really a beautiful thing. Now, the thing about it is Jupiter is currently under attack when it's at a very weak point. Right now, Venus is actually square Saturn, so that's kind of bringing some uncomfortable things to the surface about relationships and things that you don't really want to do. It's almost like Saturn is like eat your greens, and you never want to eat your greens. You want that chocolate cake, but Saturn's saying eat your greens. You may not want to eat them now, but they'll do you good in the long run. And so it's like instead of it, but it's also about not being, again, Saturn is here, it's retrograde. Wherever Saturn has a major aspect with anything during this month, it's very important not to be hard on yourself. Do not be hard on yourself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the phone down right now, and I'm going to find some cards, because I feel like I need to look at these cards now. Okay. Still here. No, I don't feel like I need to. This is bright. Okay. This one. Okay. All right. And like I said, it's important not to be too hard on yourself. This is something that you really have to be mindful of. The way this person looks in the card is pretty much self-explanatory. It's like the swords are air, swords are thought, and you see the person is in despair. You see the person cannot. It's basically don't be too hard on yourself. Don't overthink things. Don't worry about things. Saturn in retrograde it only seems like, I like to give Saturn a break. People don't like Saturn, but Saturn is simply showing you where your weaknesses are. It's not really a mean planet if you really understand how to. Saturn will humble you, and but this is a Saturnian influence. This is what you're going to be tempted to do. You're going to be tempted to over worry about things. How is this going to happen? How's that going to happen? And it's like, but all the energies, the Pisces, the Aries, the Taurus energies are currently right now. The Pisces has said everything is everything. You are now viscerally experiencing that reality. That's something that you are now starting to download into your daily awareness. Is that that heavenly, that transcendent understanding. And then the Aries is like, now you just want to work. Now you're ready to go. You've made contact with your soul essence, what is called the soul essence. You've made contact with that. Now you're activated. Now you're ready to go. Now it's like, okay, I'm ready. That's the Aries energy. Now it's starting to become Taurus and Gemini energy, where it's, okay, I need to figure out some kind of regimen, Taurus, like where I can, kind of still hang around and it not just burn out like Aries would. And then Gemini is expanding yourself socially. So you're like kind of wondering about all those things. And I would even say, since this is the 9 of Swords, 9 rules, 9 is Mars. So you're kind of worried how you're going to execute things. You're worried about how you're going to, but it's all up here. It's all in your head. And also getting good rest. That's extremely important. Getting a very good rest this month, making sure that you are adequately resting and you're not up at night worrying about things, because truly, if you really look at your life, it's like you're good. You're really good. Most of y'all out there that I know that show me love, show me respect, and some of you that I've known for a long time, y'all are all good. And you just have to keep believing in that good. And I would even say 9 also represents completion. And since it's like basically going balls to the wall, you could go balls to the wall in either way with your thoughts. This shows that you could use your thoughts to worry. But I would say this is only a possibility. I would say take your thoughts and go balls to the wall positive. Go balls to the wall positive. And just because we think that we've been so brainwashed into thinking that the negative is reality. That, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, I won't do this, or I'll make this kind of impression. We think that the negative is reality. And truly, if you look at it from a purely esoteric perspective, then negative energy is not bad. Negative energy is absorbing energy. Electric energy is emitting energy. So you want to become your own emitter. You want to emit energy. You want to emit positivity. And that's when you start attracting more positivity. So now the negative becomes a reality where it's not, the connotation is not bad. The negative becomes a reality. Whoops. Sorry guys, I keep dropping the damn phone. The negative becomes a reality where now you're drawing in what you are putting out, and what you put out is what you get back. And that's also kind of a tough reality to face. And we could look at this one. See, something makes me want to turn it down, but it's still good. Like if you can hang on, like this still means good. It just means it's not the greatest ideal that you possibly want, but it's upside down. It means things are still working out for you. They're still great. They're still wonderful. So even though you want to worry, things are still working out for you. Let's see, do I need to draw another one? Okay. I just draw what I'm drawn to. I mean, it's a dope bar, right? I draw what I'm drawn to. Also, I wanted to hold this up upside down. Long term, not like things may not look ideal now, but this card, when flipped over, and it's like it can be flipped over. I'm trying to think. No, that one's because I draw the cards in many different ways. I don't just draw them physically. So this can be turned upside down, it can be turned right side up, but it's all dependent upon your thoughts. If you continue to think negatively, you're not necessarily going to destroy, but you may not have the most ideal reality. It'll be passable, but it's like, what the fuck does passable mean these days? We want the best possible reality in our best interest. We turn this up right side up. This means that you're going to feel great. That it's like, if you think great, you're going to feel great. Then you're going to do and make great. But this means over. This means like a long period of time. You got to hang in there, keep the discipline going, and that's essentially what the discipline is. So what we have here is this is the Mercury aspect. This is you thinking thoughts all over the place. You need to gain control of your thoughts. This actually is the process of manifestation. You gain control of your thoughts, you can control your emotions, then you master the manifestation. That's basically what's going on. And that's why there's this Mercury, Saturn, day-to-day stuff, day-to-day thoughts, plugged into the long-term manifestation. Then there's this Venusian, the number 6, the Venus, going direct, going into Aries, this lunar, the 6 and the 9, the lunar, and it was like mastering your thoughts, Mercury, applying discipline to master. Saturn actually rules mastery, mastering your thoughts, Saturn and Mercury, mastering. It's square Venus right now, so mastering your pleasures and passions, mastering that. Because it's square, it's going to be a little difficult, but there's still that. Mastering your passions. The 6 and the 9, April 6th and April 9th. April 6th, Saturn went retrograde. April 9th, Mercury will be going retrograde. That 6 and the 9, the moon. Then the full moon, mastering your emotions. And then the manifestation, this is also Saturn. So I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but I'm repeating it myself. Same facts, but slightly different angles, slightly different information. So that's what's going on. Anything else? Let me pull out anything else. This here. Oh God. Okay. So I'm hoping that this doesn't get turned off. Okay, I gotta stop this real quick. I'm looking straight up crazy. My hair is like, I'm in a state of transition with my hair. Okay, forgive me. But my phone was getting overheated because I had it in the sun. That's why I had to stop real quick. But basically this card, this is about divine marriage. Now the Lovers is more like divine marriage. Let me wipe this camera real quick. Okay, that didn't really do too much. All right, this is getting your mom, your mother and father to agree inside you. Getting your mother and father to agree. Getting your masculine and feminine to agree inside of you. Now, again, it comes back mother and father, Saturn and the moon. Saturn being the father, moon being the mother. Get them to come together. Get them to see eye to eye. Get your masculine and feminine to see eye to eye. Now, we have what we got up here. We have the lion up here. The lion with the wings. It represents the sun. We want to shine the light of our awareness onto our masculine and feminine aspects, our masculine and feminine natures. And this is also yin and yang. This is the 6 and the 9 coming together, looking like the yin and yang, unity and duality, duality and unity. This is something that we want to do. So I'm going to go back to the table where I had my cards because I'm out of the sun right here. I'm going to go back in the sun, get the other cards, okay? Or I'm going to show you the other cards. So what we have, I'm going to see if can I flip this around? Can't really see. Pretty sure I can. Okay. Okay. So let's get these right. So the cards being upright is pretty much dependent on you. If you can master your thoughts here, these two cards will be upright. If you don't master your thoughts, they will be upside down. And upside down doesn't necessarily mean bad. Upside down simply means things may work out slower than usual, or they won't be ideal for you. This here is about the marriage between mother, father, masculine, feminine. Get them to see eye to eye. Don't suppress, your masculine side, or rather your masculine side. I'm not confused. I'm just kind of trying to move the card around. Don't confuse don't shut down your masculine side. Don't shut down your feminine side. Let them both work together in harmony and support each other in harmony. And then what happens is once you do that, you become royalty and you're able to fly. And I know that sounds really, really corny, but it's better to experience yourself as a divine being than not. So it doesn't really matter how corny I sound. So that's pretty much the reading there. So you want, this is definitely going up on YouTube, and I'll be sharing this on YouTube. And I really appreciate you guys hanging with me. There's a lot that we're dealing with this month, and what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to be doing monthly videos instead of a video every moon, every new and full moon. Just going over everything, because there's a lot of information to cover, and going over the arc of development that you go through each month. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Much love. I love you. Peace.